Puka decided to sit in the box. So cute. I'm just getting this piece of paper about the size that I need to make the things in it because I was going to cut up stuffed animals and throw them in there. I'm just cleaning it because it came from a thrift shop. So, not that it really bugs me, but, you know, get all the dirt and dust and whatever off, I guess. I'm just sketching it out because, like I said, no stuffed animals today, unfortunately, because that would have been a lot faster. So I'm going to play with oven-baked clay, which in hindsight, I gotta stop getting oven-baked clay because I can't use the oven, apparently. I'm not sure how, but I always over-bake shit. These are just rough sketches of little animals. Super simple project. At least for me, it just took a little bit, maybe like 2 days tops, because at some point I was being lazy and just didn't want to do it anymore. And as you can see, Puka decided to sit with me and hang out. And I'm just giving it a better, bigger, blacker outline because I wanted to see it. Some of them weren't drawn too well, but whatever. And these are just the heads. I'm trying to make them fairly equal, so I made roughly similar clay chunks. Doing that for the body and the limbs and the ears and all that fun crap. Creating convex ovals for the heads instead of just a ball. Throwing some tin foil in bowls, really. And I'm gonna do that with the torsos as well, which were a little bit smaller than the heads, but not much. And I'm just squishing them together very roughly, like all of my shit that I make, just rough. These are all the limbs, and they're all going to be slightly different postures, and these are all just little tapered tubes. Super simple, like I said. Making the little butt balls, yeah, tails, whatever. And it's going to be 3 bears, 3 bun-buns, and witches, bunnies. I'm sure someone knew that, but I'm sure someone didn't know that. And cats. I'm just readjusting so they all intertwine better. But like I said, I'm really bad at freaking baking clay, so none of them fit together anyways. I had to snap off some limbs to make them fit in the final process because they all bloated like little fish hanging out in the pond too long. Or I guess a body would do that. Moving on, I suppose. I'm just rounding off the heads because they were all flat and stupid looking, so the ears would fit a little bit better. Not that I'm trying too hard, I guess, but wanted to look somewhat decent before I had to mess around with it, because that's a lot less time fixing it, making it look smooth and such. Which is what I'm doing here. And I did try to use water, but water just, I don't know, it didn't seem right, because it's not a water-based thing, so it just kind of was like sitting on top, like a little raincoat with the shape of a cat head. I gave this little guy some ear dents, and then I forgot to do that with like half of the ones I did. And right here, I'm just giving it a neck, because for some reason, the animals had limbs attached to the bottom of their head, which is usually anatomically incorrect, no matter what the species. But, I mean, so I decided to slice off that shoulder, get rid of that shit. This, I'm just ripping off that, whatever the hell that fabric is, burlap or something, and I'm throwing this on the back. Because I was gonna put it just directly on the base, the back of the frame, but I ended up ripping off chunks of the styrofoam, and without the styrofoam it didn't fit, so I decided to just paint the edges of the back so that at least you couldn't see where I ripped off chunks of styrofoam. Throwing that back on, upside down on accident. You could see that they're nice and crispy and crunchy, and if these were cookies, they would be well baked, I think. But they might be pretty good on the edges, but since they're not cookies, they just kind of look like poop. And they're bloated, like I said. I did the colors of the rainbow, of course, and of course it's not 9 colors of the rainbow, so I did different variations of browns as well. This, I messed with the tones so that you could see that I'm throwing shading on there, dry brushing it on there. You could barely tell it's there, but I think it worked out in the long run, so. And now I'm adding some tint. And these are all pre-mixed for every single color. It took a lot of time. This is all acrylic paint because I abhor the other 2 main used ones. And you can make acrylic look like watercolor, you can make it look like oil, and it doesn't dry as fast or as slow as both of those. But I digress. I added some paint thinner so that it would, spread better. But I did have to put in 2 coats, unfortunately, because of that. Just that part really took more effort than anything, to be fair. The little guy was closest to the camera, so I figured it would show up better. But I was wrong, because I had to mess with the color scheme. And this is all cotton, because like I said, they're supposed to be stuffed animals, so I'm throwing some cotton in there, since I had to rip off limbs. And I wanted to weather it. Well, not weather it, because it would probably be inside, but age it. So I'm throwing some little nice chunks in there. I guess they're not chunks. They're missing chunks. There we go. Just really scratching the shit out of the surface. And now I'm taking a fine paper to, like, make the edges less coarse and intense, because you could really see the freaking... Yeah. But here's the finished product. It was kind of fun. Turned out better than I thought, but I think it'd be a lot better if I used real fluffy little cut-up stuffed animals.